G'day, guys, and welcome back to the Imperfect Professionals Podcast, episode number 13. It is me, it is Sportsnut, and welcome to the pod. Welcome to another episode. Ep 13 now. We're going through the eps quite
flying
fast.
through.
Obviously, got no IJM. He was a special guest, obviously a previous host on the pod. He joined as a special guest last week. How good was it getting the big IJM back in the studios?
Yeah, it was good. He might be in a few when he can make it. Good.
Yeah, it was awesome. We implemented a new segment in 60 seconds where I basically asked IJM just a range of different questions such as favourite drink, favourite sports person, and a whole lot more. I'll be asking those same 10 questions, but to the man on my right, Sportsnut 129. Are you ready for in 60 seconds tonight? It won't be on straight away. It will be a bit later on in the episode, but we do have chat which we're going to be interacting with. We're going to be talking the round of footy, which is round 7, and a whole lot more. G'day Lenza, g'day Just Cause, g'day Brisbane Lions Magician, g'day everybody. Welcome to the pod. First and foremost, the Doggers. They've beat the Cats at home, or at Geelong's home. That's a statement.
Yeah.
Just if you want, to announce yourself on the big stage, just go over to Geelong and beat them. Basically, that's a statement there from the Dockers to beat the Cats at Cat Park. 3-point game. It was an absolute thriller. And the Cats and the Dockers, I don't know, but the Cats and the Dockers games, every one of them just has a feel to it. I don't know. It might be just me, but I always think Freo and Cats is just usually a good game of footy to watch.
Yeah.
I'm playing a full game.
It's a good game to watch on, when was it? Saturday. It's the first game on Saturday. There were 5 games on Saturday. Obviously, the one on the Friday and the 3 on the Sunday. Obviously, we've had some Monday Arvo games the last couple of weeks due to Easter Monday and Anzac Day. But, yeah, 5 on the Saturday. Are you a fan of it or not?
I'm a massive fan of 5 games on the Saturday.
I reckon 1 on the Thursday, 1 on the Friday, and then 4 on the Saturday, 3 on the Sunday. But 5 on the Saturday is good. The other thing is overlapping games, and I think we may have touched on this in the other episodes, but I feel like it does overlap, but it also can be good in a way for overlap, so you can just pick and choose which game, or if one game's close, you can watch that. So it's, I mean, they do overlap, but it's not too bad. But I like a bit of Thursday night footy, and I think that's back in round 12, I believe, round 12.
Yeah.
I think, Thursday night footy's back. But what a game between the Dockers and the Cats. And the Cats kicked that late goal. I think it was Mark Blixarves. And 30 seconds to go, back in the centre. And, the Dockers held on with the kick wide to the wing. Strategical kick. Well, I'm not sure who kicked it, but that pretty much sewn up the game as soon as it fell off his boot. Read some chat. Yep, Port versus Tigers, I think, in round 12. Is that correct? Just cause. Lenza says, I'm with Sportsnut. 1 Friday, 5 Saturday, 3 Sunday. Thursday game is good every once in a while. Yeah. I mean, it'd be weird to see if we had Thursday night footy like the whole year. Which,
I don't care what it is, but not 2 Friday night. But not 2
Not 2 Friday games like we had in, I think that's coming up again, 2 on the Friday, which will overlap. But we had, I forget which round 3, I believe, when the showdown was on. There was another game on at the same time, and that just didn't really work 2 on a Friday, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What about Wednesday night footy? I think there's only one. That was the opener. and then we're not having it again. But I don't think Wednesday night footy is
Unless
definitely.
unless
I don't mind
Wednesday is
it
on
being at the
Anzac
first
Day,
game.
don't have it.
But the first game on a Wednesday night, I don't know. I'd probably have it on the Thursday, Carlton and Richmond. But I do like the idea of having the reigning premier playing the first game. I'm not sure about the grand final rematch being the first game, but
Yeah.
I do rate the premier playing the first game. But I'd say that on a Friday, on a Thursday rather, or
And especially
whenever.
when the Dees and the Dogs both start like 6-0 last year.
Yeah, and at the moment, the D's, what are they? 7-0. They're just too good. They're a class above the rest. Should we just give them the premiership now? They're a class above the
Well,
rest at
they
the
haven't
moment.
played a top 8 side, let's face it.
Yeah, have they? Haven't they? At the moment,
No, they haven't.
don't think that matters too much. But look, they'll be definitely, I reckon, top. They'll
The
finish
only
top. I
team that's
said that at
beating
the
them right
start,
now is Brisbane at
and
the
you would
Gabba,
say,
or Freo adopted.
I wouldn't mind the Lions at the Gabba. I'd tip the D's, but like Lions at the Gabba, that might be an interesting one.
Yeah, you can't dip against the D's currently.
Lenza, I rate Wednesday night footy for every now and then.
No.
Lenza, I'd rather 2 Monday games than 2 Friday games. Yeah, but like when would they be? Both at night now or in the afternoon? Because people would have school in the Arvo, but obviously they were 2 holidays and those Mondays, and they were in and amongst around about school holidays.
Yeah.
I reckon Dees, Saints, Granny, and Saints get pumped by 80. Saints in the Granny.
That's big.
Who's better? Saints or the Dockers?
Same.
At the moment,
no, it's
Dockers,
Dockers.
I'd say. And well, the Saints did beat the Dockers over there, but that was in, when was that? Round 2, round 1?
Yeah, round 2.
Round 2. But I'd say the Dockers are a little bit better, but the Saints will make the finals for sure, I reckon. Just because it's Freo. Yeah, I reckon most people would agree it's Freo. We're going to bring this segment back.
Are locked, except 8 spots.
Yeah. I mean, we could get just quickly the segment that we're going to bring back is topic of the week. What is the top 8 though? So Melbourne, Brisbane, yes. Fremantle, St Kilda, yes. Probably Sydney, Carlton, yes and yes. Geelong, yes.
Yeah,
And it's Collingwood, not in those positions. I think the positions will be a bit different, but Collingwood, I think that 8th spot, I mean, it won't be them 7 teams challenging for 8th spot, I don't reckon. I mean, I do reckon, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. But if we're talking about that 8th spot, I reckon it's between the Pies, the Tigers, the Doggies, and the Power. But I feel like
and the Hawks,
the Dogs will get in. Well, Yellow lost by 10 points against the Dees.
No,
and it was the highest score.
Like, we're
the highest score,
but we're not winning, so there's no way we can't make. Well, we'd challenge for the 8, but the
I reckon you challenge. I don't know if you're going to make it, but credit to you if you do.
It's Collingwood, mate. Yeah, Hawthorn and Richmond might get it.
Have the Giants got too much catch-up footy to play?
Beat the Dons.
Do you reckon?
Like, we have to beat the Dons.
Do you reckon the Giants got too much?
Well, I reckon if we can,
what are they?
I reckon if we do make the finals, we could do some damage with our game style. We just gotta make it.
So the Giants are 2-5. I don't like catch-up footy. And Port are going to do it. I don't know if the Giants are going to be able to play catch-up.
Bold. Giants will finish 8th.
They could, definitely. I reckon the Dogs will make it.
Yeah, that's actually... Yeah, they probably will, to be honest. Well, Hawthorn play the Dogs in round 23. Could that be deciding who makes 8?
Potentially. But I feel like the Dogs may have already secured that position by then.
The Dons are done.
Dons, yeah.
But Hawthorn have them at Marvel. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we lose. I might even tip Essendon. We never play well at Marvel. No, I'll tip the Hawks, but... It's just a game
obviously,
to get done.
obviously on, Saturday night, we saw a game in Cairns between the Power and the Saints, and the Power got the job done by 1 point. But it was the worst, one of the worst games of footy, 42 to 43. The end score, if you combine both teams, was 9 goals and 31 behinds.
Yeah, terrible.
It was just absolutely a shocking game to watch. Besides, I think the last minute of the game, it was an absolute not a very good game of footy. And same as when the Saints played up in Cairns last year against the Crows. It was another crap game, but the thing is, both of those were thrillers. That's the only thing that you could say about them. But apart from that, still not great games of footy.
Cairns now produces thrillers, but they're boring until the last 2 minutes.
So topic of the week, my topic of the week is, what do we do? It's up to the AFL and St Kilda, but what do you reckon they do? Do they scrap the Cairns game? Do they change it and experiment with an afternoon game? Or do they continue the way it's going?
I reckon they just try and experiment and almost just play it at like 11 o'clock in the day, honestly. Have 2 Anzac Day games and have St Kilda and Cairns on Anzac Day at 11 o'clock a.m. the build-up. Is that a good goal or not? I don't know.
I don't know. So you're saying... So that's what... Early? So what are you saying, though? If it was up to you, is that what you'd say?
Yeah. Oh, no, it'd be like 1:45 probably. But
I would make it an afternoon game, see how that plays out. If not, potential of scrap.
I feel like next year they try an afternoon game. If that doesn't work, scrap it.
Well, I reckon try an afternoon game, but what's it doing is, like the Saints, they're not kicking 4 goals 18.
If the Saints don't want it next year, scrap it. But like, because they're just getting, like, I know they want money, but like they're giving
away a home ground.
I know. They're giving away 4 points.
Because they kicked 4 goals 18. They're not probably doing that at Marvel. They are known for kicking inaccurately, but I think they're winning that game at Marvel Stadium. It's giving away, could be a vital home game in my opinion. So change the game, change the time rather, to an afternoon. If not, scrap it, I would say.
I just put Carlton North on for a bit.
Did you? Anyway, we're going to move on to the next segment, which is Best of the Week, where we go over, or Sportsnut goes over his best mark and best goal of the week. Here it is, Best of the Week, brought to you by Sportsnut 129.
Yeah, so mark of the week, the Crows, big Brodie Smith knocked himself out, concussed him. If you haven't watched it, search it up on YouTube. It's a good mark, definitely challenge for mark of the year. Great grab, great hang time. And then goal of the week, Lenza will love this one. It's Jack Ginnivan sidestepping a heap of Suns players and kicking the goal on the left. Really good goal. Could go for goals of the year. So
it was a great goal.
Yeah.
The Jack Ginnivan goal.
And then any add-ons, you reckon? Like there wasn't really a goal of the week, umpiring point of view.
Is there a snap of the week? There probably is. A good snap or a banana or something. But I think that was...
You know what? We'll go emerging player of the week, breakout player of the week.
Jack Ginnivan. That was last week.
He broke out last week, but we'll go with Dylan Moore.
Dylan Moore? What about 50 of the week? Was there an iconic 50-metre penalty?
Is there even one given, honestly?
Yeah, there was. There were a couple to the Saints in that game in Cairns, but I don't know if they were significant enough to... we got one as well. I think it's 2-1 in that count.
True, Robbie Gray to win for Port Adelaide, but that was a point.
Yeah, that was a point, but it doesn't matter. You look at it. We'll go back to that game. So the scores are...
moment of the week is Robbie Gray.
Yeah, so let's go back. So the scores are 42 apiece. I think there's about 30 seconds to go. Robbie Gray's on the boundary. He kicks a point. We're up by 1, and yes, Saints have possession, but they're right down the other end of the ground where they need to be. If he kicks a goal, it goes back to the centre. Yes, it's a 50-50 ball, who might win it, but it's closer to the Saints' goal. So would you rather kick a point than a goal in that scenario? Would you give up possession if it's further away from goal? I don't think he purposely kicked a point, or he might have.
No,
I don't know.
He didn't purposely kick a point, but he wasn't trying to kick a goal either. He just didn't care. Like, he was just trying to get something.
Yeah, a score.
So he was smart, because some, like, youngster, like, say, a Josh Sin, if he was playing, he would have just went for the goal and potentially missed it all.
Blake Acres is very underrated. Yeah, he kicked a miracle goal against Carlton, as Sportsnut's just lost us here. We'll get him back as soon as possible. And then he played a great all-round game against the Cats on the weekend. So he is, he's underrated, Blake Acres. I do agree with you there. An ex-Saint, but he went to the Dockers and he's doing okay there. We welcome Sportsnut back as we're going to move on.
Accidentally left.
Oh, hang on. Lenz has said people are building Port up. He still reckons they're bottom 4. Don't know about bottom 4, but we'll see though. Port. We'll be challenging. No. I don't know though if we're going to get in the 8. Bottom 4 would be not the best. We'll have to see, really. Hard to judge, you know. We played the Eagles, who everyone's smashing, and then we played a game that was just not a good game conditions to play in. So it's a bit hard to judge the wins that we've had. Anyway, we're going to move on to the next segment, and it is Bring It Back, or Is It Whack? This is Bring It Back, or Is It Whack? Sportsnut over here is going to have some jumpers that are going to be shown on screen, and he is going to say that we're going to bring these jumpers back, or they're not very good. They are whack. So I'll bring the jumpers up on screen in just a moment. But get ready, and you can rank them in the chat. You can say if you rate it or hate it. That's not the segment. It's Bring It Back, or Is It Whack? But you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so there is the jumpers. So the first one, Swooping Magpie.
Yep. I reckon this one is a...
So I'll be back in a moment, so just talk about the Pies jumper.
Yeah, so I reckon this is a Bring It Back. It is a heritage jumper. Yeah, Bring It Back, Lenza. Yeah, I reckon Bring It Back. Rate it whack, I'm afraid. Jeez. Yeah, I reckon rate it. It's a pretty good jersey.
Yeah, I reckon you could almost do, as I'm back, you can almost do a white version of this, I mean white, and have it as an away. I reckon that, you know.
Yeah, not as a home.
That just works. Next up, an anchor design for Freo.
This one's definitely a Bring It Back.
Not for a home, though. Or you're saying bring the red and the green as their main colours. I don't know where Sportsnut's muted for the moment. Oh, he's back. So are you saying as a home or an away? As a home?
No, I reckon home. This is good.
What, the red and the green predominant colours with purple? I'd almost say you have your purple jumper as a home, then you have the red and green colours in away, but obviously a different jumper to this. But Bring It Back. It's a good jumper. Same with the first one. And as requested as of last week, we have brought a Indigenous jumper to the table, and it is
the best Indigenous jumper.
This is
Bring It Back.
I think it was 2018. They brought this out, the Swans. And I think they've used it for more than 1 year. I think they used it in 2020 from memory. I'm not sure about 2019, but yeah, I reckon this is one of the best Indigenous Guernseys ever put out, especially over the Swans.
Yeah.
Looks quite cool. So are we giving it 3 out of 3? Are we giving it the 3 yeses, the 3 ticks of approval? Are we saying all these jumpers should be brought back?
Yeah.
Do you reckon so? Well, that is it for Bring It Back or Is It Whack? The chat has been busy. Graz rates it. Bring it back, says Just Cousin. Graz 10. Lenza, bring it back, love it. Oh, Shannon's given something a whack. Not sure what. Bring it back, says Just Cause. Bring it back. Shannon's on board with the bring it back. Whack, not a huge fan. I reckon change them every year in terms of the Indigenous Guernsey. Do you mean, Lenza? Change them every year? Yeah, I like the idea of changing the Indigenous Guernsey every year, making it a new design. But in terms of the actual jumper, it is a pretty good jumper. But yeah, I reckon you probably change them every year.
Yeah.
But I think they have used the Indigenous jumper, like changed the design every year. What do you reckon? Because they had this for more than 1 year. I reckon.
Yeah.
I believe. Anyway, that is it for Bring It Back or Is It Whack? Cheers for the chat for getting involved in that one. Again, if you have any iconic jumper suggestions, just put them in the chat and we'll get them on screen for next week, because I think someone said do an Indigenous Guernsey, so we brought that on display. So if you have any, just write them in the chat on stream or in the comments if you're watching this after it has been live streamed. But yeah, that is it for Bring It Back or Is It Whack. In a moment's time, we'll be going over to in 60 seconds, and we might do it now. In 60 seconds, 12 questions in 60 seconds. That's 5 seconds a question for the Sports Nutter. They're the same questions as last week, which we had for RJM. And just read the chat. Linda says Anzac Day jersey. Oh, I love like almost every single Anzac Day jersey that they've brought out. Like they're all class, and the Indigenous ones. I just like having those rounds, Indigenous round, Anzac round, because you get some different Guernseys and they look class. And I think retro round or heritage round, every team should wear a retro Guernsey, heritage Guernsey. They need to bring that round back. Anyway, we're going to move on to In 60 Seconds with Sportsnut. Rightio, 12 questions in 60 seconds, and your time, Sportsnut, starts in 3, 2, 1. Favourite sport?
Cricket.
Favourite sports person?
Jack Dempsey.
Second favourite AFL team?
North Melbourne.
Least favourite AFL team?
Geelong.
Favourite cricketer?
Steve Smith.
Favourite drink?
I'll go with the Coke.
Favourite song?
I don't know. We'll go. I don't know. Pass.
Pass. Favourite movie?
Pass.
Favourite chocolate?
Flight.
Favourite book?
AFL record.
Favourite band?
Pass.
Favourite podcast?
The Imperfect Professionals.
We've got him. Yes, finally. I thought that was going to be the answer last week. I built it up for IJM, and then he just said the great cricketer. So, that's okay. The great cricketer. It's a great podcast, but Sportsnut, he's loyal to the Imperfect Professionals podcast. So, you did pretty well. You did pass on a couple, though. IJM didn't. You passed on the song and the band. So, you're not up with the music, don't you? It's quite hard, though, I'd say, to think of a favourite song, because there's, a few.
Pre-season jerseys are good shout.
Pre-season Guernseys, says Linda for Bring Back Rizzo Whack. Great shout again. If you have any more questions or queries, just pop them in the chat. But I think we'll wrap up in a couple of moments' time for this episode 13. So no special guests this week, just me and Sportsnet. But, we might get a special guest on for a bit of the ep or a whole ep or something like that. We'll have to see. In the next coming weeks. We've also got YJN, who was great as of last week. And I don't know who we're going to, well, for in 60 seconds, I might have a go at those questions now because YJM's had a go, you've had a go. You might have to ask them to me. And then from there, we'll think of some different questions in terms of just different questions, or maybe how many teams can you name from this, or whatever, how many can you name, or whatever, just whatever you can do in 60 seconds. But I think next week I'll have a go at those questions.
Riverway Stadium in Townsville. Now, I do remember people playing there. And it was
good old Riverway Stadium.
Better than Cairns, I'll give you that.
What about the New Zealand games? Now, obviously, well, me and IJM on my channel, we did a series called, I don't know what it was even called. We just made a new AFL team. And we made a New Zealand side. And we're actually taking a look back and about just some old games, because St Kilda actually played games of AFL football at the stadium that me and IJM said was going to be this team's home ground. And the games weren't, that bad. It is New Zealand, but better than Cairns in terms of just a normal game of footy, really. Just played it in a different country.
Stadium was better.
Well, Port and St Kilda was going to be, that's supposed to be the China game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Saturday night. But, obviously, the virus couldn't do so. Are we ever going to see football back at China, do you reckon?
Oh, probably not now. Or maybe in a few years, but I don't know.
We'll have to see. I don't know.
They're better off playing in...
The thing is, it's Port's thing that they play there, but it's always their away game.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if they've paid more money to not give up one of their home games. Well, they must have, because they're not giving up a home game. And it's giving the other team, which used to be Gold Coast and now it's St Kilda, giving them a home game that's in China, not at Marvel or for the Suns Metricon.
Yeah. Well, I reckon that's a really good shout, like what Lenza just said. I reckon if they're going to go international, play it in New Zealand or play it in...
I reckon New Zealand, they should go back there.
New Zealand or England.
Wasn't there a couple of pre-season games played in London? Don't know if they were home and away games. So some games played there. It could have been a pre-season.
Yeah.
Not entirely sure.
How did you change it to America?
I think that's all the questions. I'm just looking back for a chat. Got any more, send them through. But we'll wrap up here for episode 13 of the Imperfect Professionals Podcast. It has been me. It's been Sportsnut. It's been real. It's been good, but it hasn't been real good.
My